You don't just succeed in your organization by doing the official work to spec. There's something else that makes people successful inside organizations, and that is understanding the culture of the organization and the implicit rules that govern it. There are a lot of things, frankly, in corporate life that are unspoken. But if you can learn to crack that code and to understand it, you can be far more successful. So, the things that it really pays to know are things like, what does the company really value? What is it that's driving them? What arguments do people in the company listen to? What carries weight? And what skills are important? The answers are going to be different for every company. And if you can really understand that, it ensures that because you have a sense of how things really work, that your career is not going to be just this long slog, this long uphill battle. You're going to be able to play to your strengths and to play to what the company cares about. So, for instance, if you're at a Silicon Valley company, often those are very engineer driven. And they listen to data based arguments. If you are an engineer, if you're speaking the language of engineers, then they will pay a lot more attention to you. Whereas a different kind of company might be more interested in international experience or international perspective. And yet another company might be very finance driven. And it's always, well, what do the finance guys say? Or what is the bottom line for the numbers? If you understand what culturally your company values, you can frame your arguments in that way in order to make sure that they get the maximum traction. So, as a manager, you have to understand this to help you, but also you have to transmit that knowledge to your team so that they can be as effective as possible. If you're in a company that's very finance driven and everybody always wants to know what the numbers are, you would be doing a disservice to your team if you did not warn them about this, if you did not train them in how to do this so that they can come into meetings prepared and buttoned up and always have that answer, because they're far more likely to succeed if they do. Now, of course, these things are not written down. This is not obvious. You have to pick up on what the implicit culture is. So, how do you do it? There's a couple of things. The first is you actually can ask your boss or other people in the company this question: what makes people successful in this company? Now, that's not a bad question to ask. It's not like you're fishing for some secret information. It shows that you care, it shows that you want to learn. But it's very interesting if you parse what they say. What makes people successful in this organization? You can pick up a lot based on what the company values. And number two, just look with your own eyes. Watch who it is that gets rewarded or promoted inside the organization. What do they do to get rewarded or promoted? Those are the behaviors that people really care about. And if you can learn to adjust your framing or your activities and that of your team more in that direction, things are going to be a lot easier.